Hey, what's good, Authentics? Welcome to yet another impactful episode of the People's Journal, where authentic stories are told by real people. I'm your host, Papa Ka Yona, Mr. 925, Intambo Yomtlakasi, Waitin Tuzochokega, and like I always say, man, I think for these couple of months, I do have to come through and be honest, that we haven't been really consistent in terms of like giving, you guys some soul food, some mind food and just a little bit of inspiration to get you going. But I appreciate, the love and the support coming from the community, saying, yo, keep it up, keep moving, keep going, and just referencing some of the old episodes that we've done and just, sharing the impact and the value that we've given you guys, so I truly appreciate that. So I just wanted to say, shout outs to everybody that's been showing love out there on the social medias. Shout outs to everybody that's been showing love out here in the streets too. It really does feed us and it keeps us going and growing bigger, and talking about big things, man, I do have to give a huge shout out as well to Fitown for hosting us and allowing us to use, their premises, their venues, and saying, yo guys, you are part of the family, so you are welcome to do anything at any time in this space. So please do go check them out on their social media. It's at Fitown on their Facebook page and TikTok. Just look them up. Always you'll see us together linked there. Speaking of big things that are coming as well, on the 16th of September, this Saturday, we have a listening session, obviously in partnership with Fitown. The session is Who's Brian. Will be breaking down the EP. So man, do come, cry or laugh with us. It's up to you. And then obviously the big box are out. The big box are out on the 24th of September. The Speaker Box Session Volume 4. We are doing it again. Man, I'm excited about it. I'm excited. So please do just keep on checking on the social medias. Check out my details. Share my poster. And then, man, come through, look good, and let's have these authentic sessions and hashtag make it our own. But right now, our guest is not just anyone. He's the alumni of the People's Journal. He came quite early, and he sort of like contentized us with getting us into the Stokvel bags, thinking more about that. Hey, we need to like really tap back on those bags, study Stokvel, because those are some of the things when we talk about black money. I might be giving you some clue there when I talk about black money. I've dubbed him the king of Sibindi, and the founder of Papa Ka Yona. He's basically a chef, but an all-rounder. He's a chef, he's a philanthropist, he does well for the community. He's a hustler at its core, and I'm repeating that. You remember the last time I said that he's a hustler from the core, and he's here again. I think this time I invited him because he's also been like a huge figure, a huge support system in terms of like, really inspiring me and motivating me to go on with the podcast. But more than anything, I think sometimes we sort of like sleep on our township entrepreneurs because of we don't see the flesh, we don't see the ice, we don't see them going all crazy with the material things, and we don't look to them for inspiration. We don't look for them for information. And these are trailblazers. These are pioneers. These are people that go in without nothing to make something out of nothing, and I'm happy that he's here today. Before taking too much time, just trying to introduce him, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ryan. What's good, my P?
Thank you, Mr. 925. Shout out to all you loved ones. Shout out to the village that raised this child. I am grateful to be invited here, and I hope I can give my 2 cents that will contribute towards something bigger.
Sure.
It feels nice being here, man.
It does.
It feels nice, especially. I've never felt more at home. I am grateful to be part of something that is actually in line with who I am.
Sure.
And what I'm trying to contribute to this world. You know. So as people, we can't be everything, but we can we can be drops of
Yep.
an ocean.
Yep.
When we can't be one drop short, but nonetheless as individuals we are drops that contribute towards the ocean. So loved ones out there, don't ever feel like you are not a drop that makes a contribution to this ocean, because without you we are one drop less from being an ocean. I don't know if you get me, my nigga.
I do.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite interesting because I want us to track back on where now does this drop come from. A drop can come from the rain maikala. I understand it could come from that, or it could come from water spilling, but it's rooted from somewhere, you know. And I think in the last episode we never really got to get a full background of who Ryan is, you know, and where Ryan is from. And you spoke about a village, you know, and as we all know that it takes a village to raise a child. So which village are you from in terms of just your biology and in terms of just your upbringing? You know, I just take us through on who Ryan is before even being this particular gentleman Oplomehi who's doing amazing things.
I appreciate the opportunity and the platform
Sure.
to share this story. In all honesty, I specifically said shout out to the village that raised this child, because it is not only my biological family. I'm not taking anything away from them. I appreciate them as well, but it was people that did not owe me anything, that contributed so much into my life. You know, as people, we would focus a lot on the things we don't have, and shy away from the things we actually have. Like I didn't go to a Model C school, but I went to a private school of love, my G.
Hey.
I experienced loves from people that didn't owe it to me, and they were so selfless. Like my mentor right now, I've learned so much from him. I've grown so much from what I've learned from him. He's opened up almost everything that is his to me, and I don't even know that there's not. It's out of the goodness of his heart. Even from my homie Zimzim Mhlope, the his and hers family, Abo Bravo, Boysanza, Abo Angeliki, all those guys. Those are the people that I experienced. I was always the last born there, like that little nigga nje, we understand. But those people showed me selflessness, and they didn't have to, because those are people that are supposed to have big egos because they have big reputations, you know. But they are the most humble people, like Abu Mavusana. Like I can name quite a few people, but they are so humble, they don't even need me to mention them. But like I said, Uguti, shout out to the village that raised this child. And it was innate in me, being taught by them to give back. In order to receive, you must give. You get me, my guy? Yeah. And it's not about to receive people's attention, but to receive grace, to receive, how can I put this? Just to feel good about giving somebody a chance, because somebody also gave you a chance without even expecting anything in return. So yeah, well, that's my little 2 cents. Yeah, well, there's this baby that I was fortunate to give birth to, called the Papa Ka Yona.
Yeah.
Well, it starts as a food business, because all great conversations start with a great meal, you know, my man. So it is not limited to that, but as everything starts somewhere, like a line starts with a dot. So this is where Papa Ka Yona started, you know. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, like I have my friend who Raymond, the owner of this establishment, the Fitown. That is why I feel so much at home when I'm here. Uguti, he's not just my friend in terms of business. He's my friend in terms of even when I'm down. Like, he's one of the people that helped me when my shop got broken into, I could always come here. Hey dog, these haters are trying to keep me down. And he was my secret weapon to make sure on the same day that my shop was broken down, it goes up and it works on the same day. And
it's just like, you know, what you're saying is so interesting. You know, I think I just wanna, before we just move past to Papa Ka Yona, because already you are describing that there's also been like challenges within that journey, you know. But one thing I think I took away from your 2 cents of who Ryan is and where he comes from is that you basically come from the streets, you know. And but obviously if we had to like sibeke kahle ngenhlonipho, we'd say the village, right? But like you're saying, Guti, you've been raised by so many people, young and old. What I like the most about that is that you shared most of the values while you were describing where you're coming from. You know, you gave us that you were raised by love. You know, you gave us that there was a take this baton and run with it type of cultivation. And you spoke though about like a lot of, and also growing up in front of inspiration, like the people that you referenced, to say I grew up looking around these people and obviously being mentored. And I feel like it's something that sometimes when we come from those backgrounds, we don't look at the values that these backgrounds are sort of like instilling in us, but we more always look into the negatives and say, but I come from, because the story is, for most of us, is yes, we do come from the hood, we come from the ghetto, and it's not nice, it's, you understand, but it's like, I like the way in which how you put a different face into it, not always telling the struggle story, because yes, we come from that, but it's part of our story, but not our story. So I really appreciate you sharing that part, you know. Obviously I can tell that from that, like you said, you had no chance but to, and it's a privilege and a blessing to start a Papa Ka Yona. How did that even come about?
my man, okay, like you said, you like that I didn't speak about the struggle, but it's like you pushed me in that direction.
Sure.
I would like to say this, nah, just for everybody out there, for your listeners, for all the loved ones, to know that you don't have, like, the struggles have to be there. You don't graduate if you don't pass the test. I don't know if you're getting me.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like even the lotus flower, it blooms and it's a beautiful flower, but where it grows, it's the most, I don't even know how to describe it. The environment where it grows is not nice.
Is it the same flower reference to Tupac, the flower that grows from the concrete? Is it the same, or it's a different?
The lotus flower normally grows on water,
okay,
on very dirty water and contaminated, but it blooms so beautifully, my nigga. So that's the potential that you guys have out there. Yoguti, you are in the worst of the worst situations in order for you to come out stronger. Like I said, Uguti, you cannot graduate if you don't pass the test. Your challenge right now is to pass the test so that you graduate, my guy. You know, so Papa Ka Yona, it's always been my dream. I did not know Uguti it's going to start the way it started, but how I learned to cook wasn't primary. I'm not saying I'm the best cook, but I don't like food that I don't enjoy. So normally what I would do is, if they would cook edladleni, and then I would come and thola my spice and whatever, and like just do my own thing, you know. Hey, so remix, bruh. That's the perfect word for it. Remix, my G. So that's how this whole thing started, you know.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to have a conversation over some food, you know. Like when you're going out with your lady, you're gonna have lunch. When you're out with on a meeting or whatever, you're gonna have lunch.
Sure.
When you're chilling with your homies or whatever, you're gonna have some food. So let's have a good meal and then have a good conversation and then grow from there, my G,
Yeah.
Hey.
So it's basically a concept that came out of, I'm gonna gather these people together, but the best way to do this is to gather these people through play.
My G, there's a lot of us that are going through crap that we are being served by Impilo. But the nice thing is, there's so many of us that we can come together so that you don't feel like you are alone. I don't know if you get me. I do. We can come together in our hardships, and by just merely understanding Uguti, somebody's life is more difficult than yours would actually motivate you to get your up and do something good, my nigga. Because like my late brother always used to say, Uguti, if God were to say, come here right now and say, let's all pile up our problems and put them in a mountain. If we were to share those problems, everybody would fight for their own problems because you wouldn't be able to handle somebody else's problems, my guy. You get me?
Yeah.
So let's come together, man.
Oh, preach. Hey, speaking to me right
I'm
now.
I'm a bit of a preacher.
Hey. But I hear you.
Yeah, my God.
Man. And then, so obviously you give birth to a Papa Ka Yona, and like you said, it comes from the love of cooking. But as we know that sometimes when you also start something, the love alone is not enough, because you clearly have to sort of have a vision, to, let me not even say the love alone, because I think then it's different strokes for different folks, For some people it's like it's enough. But if you want to go further, obviously in life, the love alone, it's like, it needs to be, like you said, it's a whole ecosystem. It needs to be balanced with a certain vision. So you start Papa Ka Yona out of the love of it, and then it goes, what, a year, 6 months, 3 months, for you to realize, okay, this thing, like, it's something that I want to pursue throughout.
I think a long time ago, I've made peace with Papa Ka Yona not being mine. I own it, kind of like how Orlando Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs is owned by somebody. But it is beyond those people that are on paper. It's the people's.
Yes.
You get it.
Yes.
So that's exactly what I look at it as. Yoguti, it's my contribution, but then it's beyond me. And I'm not going to, it's not mine, it's ours. So there's going to be a lot of ways of how we are going to benefit collectively from this thing. We are understanding.
Sure.
Yes, the idea started with me. It's fine. I don't even care about that. But where it ends, it's not going to end. I'm going to end one day and leave it behind, and then the torch is going to move with somebody else. Whoever feels Uguti they are going to run with the torch, they will run with the torch, my guy.
Why still have that thing of building things for people, especially in a time when we know that people are the ones, you build things for people, and there's the very same people, they the ones that come and destroy or bapilis or whatever that you've built for them. Like for instance, you shared some of your challenges with, you understand. So what keeps you going and wanting to still get this thing up, when, like you're saying, that it's beyond you, it's for the people, but the very same people then bring it to you, but they bring it in a plate your pain, in a plate your disrespect, because of course what they're doing is I coherent. So what keeps you going, and what keeps you wanting to build it more and more based on that?
Well, you see, the people or the individuals that do harm, I only take them as a challenge. This thing would not be worth it if it did not challenge me. It would be too easy if it didn't come with its challenges, my man. So they are just challenges. They are just tests to be passed. Nami, my willpower is a test. Yoguti, am I worthy of getting this thing to where it needs to go. So I'm always going to be tested. My character is going to be tested. At some point, I might have money. That very same money that I think is going to make my life easy is actually going to test my character. Yoguti, am I going to change now because I have money? Or am I still going to be the guy? Am I going to change the vision of what we are doing once I have money?
Sure.
Or if somebody comes with money and says, I'm buying this thing, am I going to sell it? You get it? It's those things that are always there to test you as an individual. And like we have to embrace these tests, man. We have to. And overcome them, you know. It's like yourself, Fitown, where you started with the People's Journal. I'm fortunate to have been your friend. I can attest.
Sure.
Uguti, no, this guy has come a long way to where we are right now.
Yeah.
Like, look at where we are right now.
Exactly.
You get it.
Yeah.
So there's
levels now.
Now there's levels, my man.
We have a venue to shoot these things.
You
now.
get it, my man. So the more you go forward, the more it's even worth waking up and doing it. You know, the more you see people smile about it, the more you recognize, Guti, this thing is invaluable. We understand.
Yep.
So my test is it's beyond not giving up. It's staying true.
Yeah.
To what I saw this thing as when it started, because things change all the time, but they remain the same at the end of the day as well. You know, the contradiction, the flip side of the coin. So I will grow but not change.
And what's the difference between ukula no gonna change? Because doesn't it maybe if someone else is sitting and they're like thinking, Guti, doesn't growth require you to change? How do you grow and not change? What's the difference?
Look, when I started, maybe I was a plant, and now I'm a tree.
Sure.
From me coming from being a plant to being a tree is to bear fruit. But I can change and become furniture for wood, wood for furniture, or for charcoal to be burnt, and then that's the end of me. Or I can continue growing as that plant, as that tree, and continuously bear fruit. I think that's where the difference is. You can change from being a tree to being firewood. You get it, and then you burn, and then that's it.
But
that's the end of you.
Stays the same.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
I
don't know if you get me, my
I do.
Yeah, but if you remain rooted, you remain a tree, you will remain having the opportunity to bear fruit, my man, so that the community can eat, my man.
Oh, that's a dope perspective. You know, like what I'm thinking about right now is, so Unipsi once said, Unipsi once said that you can leave the hood but not leave the hood, right? So meaning Uguti, you can still be in the hood but have a different mindset about your life while still in the hood. You know, you don't necessarily have to leave the hood for you to leave the hood, right? So it's basically what you're saying, Guti. Sometimes you have to grow, even if you are in this settlement or like empilweni, this is happening, but growth, it's still required, even though the circumstances sometimes might still be the same, and you're forced to go to ube circumstances. But how you deal with certain things requires you to have a different mindset. It requires you to have a different approach to it. That's what at least I'm getting from that beautiful philosophy. So why Papa Ka Yona? Why not Papa Ka Sona? Because things is been.
First of all, Papa it's like our staple. Yes. It's like it's the black staple, you maize, know. Yeah, like
Pap. For my international listeners,
yeah, Pap is like our staple, dog.
Sure.
Yeah, you get it. So that's the foundation, the basis of everything. Like you know,
Yes.
most of the meals you've had your whole life,
Papa's involved.
Papa's there, dog. You know,
Yeah.
if there's no rice, it's crazy papa. You get it, something like that. But Ka Yona, it's let's do it, man. As long as there's gune papa esiswini, man, you have the energy to do whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, retayetsa. I was inspired by a friend of mine, Ulifa. We used to have house parties like way back then, you know. So we would always like mina on my Bentley, dog, like, and that's like way back high school. We understand that that's gonna be my number plate on my Bentley, nan.
Yeah.
Just to like look at now, it's something else. It's not just something that's going to be written on a number plate. Now it's something that's probably gonna be written on my son's legacy,
exactly.
or whatever I'm going to be leaving behind for my family and for the community at large, you know. It's a movement now. It's no longer just a number plate here, Bentley. Because, like this movement has to happen for that Bentley to come through, you know.
Sure.
Something like that, yeah.
It's beautiful. And I like the fact that you to attach a movement to go, because I was about to ask you, Guti, I mean, with Papa Ka Yona, you know, you could have decided to just capitalize and not give back. But what we see you do is you also have like these initiatives that come under Yona, you know, that are impactful and valuable, and that I feel like in these times that we are living in, we need such activities more and more, because like a lot of young people that are coming after teen, they sort of like don't have those recreational platforms, you know, to go express their talents, you know. I know Guti, on the 24th as well, you're also doing something for Amapanzul, you know.
Yeah, Amapanzul and Amapucha.
Sure.
You know, like dance is actually part of our heritage.
Yeah.
Like for as far as we can look back.
Sure.
Ispanzula was more of a rebellion against the apartheid. Hence Amapanzula, there's this thing yokuthi amapantsula abotsotsi. The authorities used to call them abotsotsi because they would rebel against the status quo, you know. And then Amapujwa, it's almost like the new generation, they are children,
the soft
you
version,
know? Like let's upgrade this thing, you know. So that's a major part of our heritage. That's why we would like to do it in this perspective for a Heritage Day, you know. Yes, we have our cultures and but that's also part of our culture. We're not denying the culture. We understand that, but like dancing is now a common culture, and it does not separate us between Nina Namazulu, Nina Namakosa, Nina Nama. But when you dance, everybody dances, whether it's your mom, it's your son, it's your aunt, it's the white guy, it's the black guy, it's the, you get it. All of us.
It's a
dance,
universal language.
especially when we are having fun, when we are listening to the music we enjoyed. Like for instance, you see le movement le amapiano. Ne, it you can take it for granted, especially if you don't see it. But if you've noticed, like look on socials, white kids, coloreds, Indians, they are all dancing. They are
Chinese.
all dancing, and they're all dancing. Chinese, everybody. So now we are bona uguchi now. It's almost like a racial integration. You get it? We are not the status quo of those guys. It's like almost like right? We don't care about that. We just want to dance. That's all we want to do. So let's take it from there where I understand that. Let's take it from the positive perspective. Yoguti, dancing includes everybody. Whether you are a child or a crutchy, you are somebody who has problems, you are somebody who's, as long as you can dance, come through and dance. We have our friends who are donating, like about Dr. Mrake, she's donating a gold tooth. Dr. Mvelasi, she's donating to help us buy food. Papa Ka Yona, like all our friends, our entire, everybody's just making a contribution. Our lambs, as pus now, our Sulman conceptions, everybody's making a contribution. So that shows you, like what I said when I started. Guti, shout out to the village that is raising the child. We understand that because our parents are not with us when we are out there in the village.
Sure.
But the village is out there to help our parents guide us. I don't know if you get me.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
something
I
like
do.
that.
I do. And that's beautiful. I like also the fact, Yoguti, you brought up collaborations in this. And I think, what's your perspective now in terms of what's happening, the movement, in terms of collaborations? Do you think we are doing enough, especially in the hood, especially Tina, where we are, right? Do you think we are doing enough in terms of collaborations? And if not, what is the issue? And what can we do better to better collaborate? Because I feel like gule climate less go right now, whether you're business, whether you're an artist, whether you're a podcaster, whether you're an event organizer, or we sort of like somewhere, somehow need each other, because whatever that we are doing is sort of like linked, and it doesn't only apply to us, maybe people who are doing things, who have businesses, but I feel like even within our communities, within the next door neighbor, we need each other more, because we sort of have common issues that we need to all acknowledge and come together for. You understand? So, what do you think about the state of collaboration at the moment in the community that we are in? And is it working? Is it there? Is it not there? If it's not there, why do you think it's not there? And then if it could be there, how can we make it to be there?
My man, I'm gonna call a spade a spade.
Call a spade a spade.
As far as I'm concerned,
sure.
Bati Biki Makmir. I don't know if you are familiar with that statement. In our community, we have trust issues. That's why, there's this saying, Thomas in Kolong. Yes, it's part of the trust issues that we have. But like here we are. This is like a collaboration between the People's Journal, Papa Ka Yona, and Fitown.
Sure.
So in terms of progress, I'm not going to complain too much. You get it. Progress is a slow process, my man. They say Rome was not built.
I need you to say that again. I need you to say that again, because I feel like it's important that it sinks in.
No, yeah, progress is a slow process.
Sure.
We are making the progress. I do notice a lot of collaborations within our communities, although we won't all be one thing all at the same time.
Sure.
We understand that. Let's try maybe not to be too greedy, but let's give a shout out to those collaborations that are currently happening, my man. Or like we are going to find each other some way, somehow, like rivers. We are going to flow from different places and flow into one ocean, my man, so let's give it some time, a bit of patience, a bit of love. You get it, but we'll eventually get there. I'm confident in that. Here we are right now. We understand that there's we could have been personal, like that's whatever,
Sure.
My ego or your ego or our host's ego could have been the problem, but we decided, no man, this thing is beyond us. It's bigger than us. We understand, and the flip side of that is that there can be many followers, but there can't be many leaders. You get it? So the few leaders have the responsibility of leading the masses. So the masses are lost when they do not have good leadership.
Do you consider yourself a leader?
Okay, no. What the right word is, I consider myself a contributor.
Issue.
Yeah, let me not blow my horn too much, you know.
Yeah.
Like I would like to make a contribution. That's one thing I'm sure about me and my character, you know. I'm not here to convince people ukuthi, hey, I'm the next Jesus Christ. No, but I would just like to make a contribution, you know, as each of us have a contribution to make, as each of us are a drop in this bigger ocean. You get me, my guy? So yeah, I think it's there. We are going to learn to trust each other more because we need each other more. Izandla ziyagezana. You get it? So we'll eventually get there. I'm confident in that. I can also tell you to rest assured, ukuthi now we'll get there eventually. Kancane kancane. I think even the work that you are doing right now, it's helping us as individuals now to start having conversations, real people, real conversations, you know.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, my G.
No, I feel you, and I think I appreciate your honesty, because Nami, I feel the same. We can't always be dwelling on, yeah, but we are not collaborating enough. But we need to like really start embracing the fact that there are now collaborations that are taking place, you know.
Yeah.
And we need to just keep on making sure we shower those, you know, we share light, and we appreciate and embrace those contributions as there. Because like a drop in the ocean, kuzoba ne wave, kuzoba ne ripple.
Yes.
You understand? And
yes, sir.
Whoever catches on will catch on. Whoever doesn't won't. But what's important is that the drop will drop and the ripple, you know, will happen.
Yes.
The last time I was quite interested. I think we did not just I didn't see it deep into it, you know. But when we spoke about black money, you raised like something that was very important, you know, and something that I feel like it's, you know, when people talk about how you need to always have a side hustle, this has been like the side hustle of all side hustles, you know. Itokfela, my dog.
Yeah.
Itokfela nabotaki, you know. And I think coming back to now, even like the state of our township economy, we know, like I said, it's difficult for us to start these businesses, especially in the hood with the infrastructure, I understand, and grow them to, because I know that we have bigger aspirations. We don't want to just to make it a full economy and sell. At some point you want to see, you know, gunestina uthengisa emva kwethil. At some point you want to see your business kuma billboards at some point. And obviously like finance or capital is like the hugest challenge, the biggest challenge when it comes to like amagents nabo sister basekase or entrepreneurs in the hood or creatives in the hood that wants to pursue their ideas, but not only just on a dust scale, you know, but on a universal scale, you know, because we are playing global now. The world is global. You understand? It's now social media now. We can, like, things are different, but obviously we still have that gatekeeper, which is a capital. But I was thinking, I was like, yo, it wouldn't hurt for businesses to also, like, you know, get into that stockfell mood or stockfell mode, you know, to say, as I'm a businesses, why can't we all also come together and have stockfell to say, you know, with this one, Maizago, it's, you know, we can take out loans there for if you want to expand your business, we can understand. So I wanted to just, you know, tickle your fancies again around that topic, around that subject, talk fella, because like the last time you really enlightened me, and I know a lot of people who listened, especially like the older generation, they kept emphasizing with you, this guy all right, you know. And also a lot of 9-to-5 people who are working, you know, he stock fellas, like I said, the side hustle. You understand? So what's your perspective now around that, and what more can you maybe like add or share according to your experience, and you know?
Okay, Before we get to that, ne,
Sure.
there's a little comment that I'd like to make.
Yeah.
To everybody out there with aspirations, start where you are. You cannot start where you are not. Yes, you've mentioned the global scene and everything, but you have to start where you are.
How does that look like? Because sometimes I feel like we get lost in these words sometimes, but if you had to paint a picture, for example, you started Papa Ka Yona. Where were you when you started that at that point? You understand? Like in practicality. Because sometimes I feel like we need to give ourselves that. When I say start where I am, in practicality, what do I mean by that?
Well, I'll be honest. Well, where I started,
Sure.
I started as a recycler because I didn't have money. So I was all up in the bins collecting people's waste. The nice women, ekasi, would look at me like ngunyaupe or whatever. You get it?
Sure.
And that was not nice for my ego or my pride. I'll be honest. It wasn't. I'm a human being. When people look at you like you are nothing, it's gonna make you feel like you are nothing. But you must remember, Uguti, what are you doing? That's why I'm saying start where you are. Even till today, I'm running Papa Ka Yona, the
recycling
the restaurant.
Sure.
I'm still a recycler even till today. Now I'm even in a position to give back. But if I allowed my pride or my ego or whatever you want to call it at that time to affect me from getting what I need to get done, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I wouldn't have a story to tell, my man. So Mangiti, start where you are. Start where you are. The only choice I had was to get into people's dustbins and collect waste and recycle it so I can raise money. And raise money to start Papa Ka Yona, which was a standy, summer sale and whatever. No sekunama roof tiles kangin. So progress is a slow process, but it's progress nonetheless. You get it? So now we are going to get back to the Stockfeld part. Now that is out of the way, my G. You get it? Yeah. It's Stockfella. It's collective saving. They say if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. Our parents, our great-grandparents raised us saving money collectively. You get it? It is an African thing. It's African nature. The Somalians, the Nigerians, the Mozambicans, the Zimbabweans. It is innate in our blood to collectively save money and help each other out by raising funds. That's who we are. It's what we are. That's our banking system. That's why it's worked so long for us. So why would we want to abandon it now?
Talk to us about
our main challenge is ego and fear. That is the main challenge. If we can get over that, we're already winning, my man. We understand that. If my ego is going to stop me from picking up that tin because Uspanbani where weave is looking at me, then I've lost money. Because of something I think somebody is going to think of me. And that does not put butter on my bread, my nigga. You get it?
Sure.
So I need to pick that tin up and collect it and pick up the next one and the next one and the next one. Go and sell that. And then I have some money to plan around. That money that I'm planning around is called capital, my guy. You get it? Yes, that is capital, my man.
That's the money to start.
We understand. Not Tuguti, we are going to expect somebody from the heavens to come down and give us money. For what? No, we must do what we need to do. Not all of us come from backgrounds where we are left money or whatever, but we are all given 24 hours in a day. We all breathe the same air. Our blood is the same color, dog. We understand. Our bodies need the same nutrition. So that's what we have in common. So let's not waste any time, my G. Let's not even waste each other's time. It's either you move with us or you stay behind.
Hey, you've said a lot. You've said a lot. Like, some of the things that derail us is ego. Yo, yeah.
That's one of the main ones.
That's one of the main ones, you know, because we judge each other based on the bread. Ukuthi lo usithola kanjani sing, not judging ama results at the end. Ukuthi, you know what, regardless of ukuthi usithole kanjani, but did they bring the bread home? Yeah, I think that must be load shading. Yeah, we're in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen.
But it's not gonna stop
But
us.
it's not stopping us. It's not stopping us, you know. And I mean, I do appreciate this conversation because I don't feel like we have enough of these type of conversations, you know, and I don't think we get them from the right people most of the time, you know, people that are on the grassroots with it, you know, people that are actually doing and putting in the work out of the goodness and, you know, out of the, I want the world to be a better place, but I also like need to make sure I'm good where I am. Let's talk a little bit about fatherhood, my dog. How's that for you, and how are you maneuvering through? Is this your first?
It's challenging, but it's nice.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
So how are you balancing between having to be a Papa Ka Yona and having to obviously, you know, also juggle between fatherhood?
Just looking at it as a reason to wake up. Sometimes you don't want to wake up, but you gotta have a very good reason to wake up. So if you have a good reason to wake up, you wake up, my nigga.
Yeah. So that's all it is for you.
No, I'm fair too. That guy's innocent.
Sure.
Yeah, so
Has there been any changes though in your life in terms of when you look at the before and the afters?
not my character. I'm still the same person.
Still the same person.
Yeah, maybe in terms of being responsible.
Yeah.
Maybe that has changed or improved rather, not changed.
Sure.
You know, yeah, maybe that has improved, but I'm still the same person.
Still the same.
Yeah.
I
I
think
still bump to the same music. I still enjoy the same things I used to enjoy. Yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, our parents are still, to a certain degree, the children that they were. You get it? They are just more responsible because there's now us. So I've learned that I'm still the same guy. I just need to take care of shit. That's it.
that's about
Excuse
it.
my language.
No problem. I think you did mention that if someone wants to start something, they obviously need to start where they are. But if you had to go and share some tips, I mean, what would those be? If someone like is inspired out of this conversation, yes, they got to start where I am. Maybe if you have like any additions that you would like, you know, to add on, so that Mundelista part is crafting is colorful, you know, say inspiration instead of Bamba too sly in the writing.
You know, part of what holds us back the most, ne,
Sure.
is ukuthi we are burdened by not giving ourselves a chance. Most of the time, like, there's nobody alive who's never had to apologize. Sometimes you have to apologize to yourself and say, I'm sorry to myself, maybe for wasting my time, for making a mistake, or for whatever. You know, we sometimes need to apologize and give ourselves a chance, a second chance. There's nobody who's alive who's never needed a second chance of some sort. So you also need to give yourself a second chance, my man, and apologize to yourself for whatever you've done. Maybe you are a former drug addict, maybe you are coming out of jail, or maybe you were a person that you no longer want to be. You have to try and forgive yourself for having done that to yourself, so that you can unburden yourself and then become what you were designed to become. I don't know if it makes sense, my G.
It does. Yeah. Because basically what you're saying is that at the end of the day, you still need to go back use lungisa, and heal some of the so that for you
that is important
to even undergo that journey. It doesn't only require capital, unfortunately, but also now may lose lungis as a human and being tagged with yourself.
Yeah, your confidence and your talent is somewhere under all of that rubble. So you have to remove the rubble so that you can get back to that beauty that makes you an individual. We understand that the special design about you as a person, so you have to clean the rubble. And in order for you to rebuild, there's going to be a lot of rubble, because you are going to break down walls, you are going to break down a lot of things. And then you clean those things, and then you rebuild yourself, pick yourself up, and move towards the dream, my G.
Oh, man. And I think that's where we drops the mic. With a bang. Look, my G, I think, I know from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of the hearts of the authentics, they really going to appreciate this conversation, because they loved the first one, even though the first one we had our own things, you understand, but it's like you came back and we feel you, and I think we also needed like this light bulb. We always do, basically. Now and then, like, we go through some bumpy roads and we need just something or someone to whisper to us now and then and to remind us with, the journey is still ahead, but we always need to keep our head up and continue marching. And that's what your story has been. You've always just looked forward and continued marching. I've watched COVID happen. I've watched businesses close. Even when I was laid off on my 9-to-5, I would still come and mice outside of your property, of your business, Papa Ka Yona, during COVID times, during hard times. And you've survived those moments, So you are a true testimony of someone and someone that can stand the test of time, and someone that marches on, and someone that has a belief in just, this is just for me, but if I do this, then it will benefit not only me, but the people around me, And I think that's the energy that we need, just in our lives as entrepreneurs, as creatives, even as a normal person who's on a 9-to-5, even as even as someone who's starting from their first year, we need to sort of like embody, some of those teachings from your experience that you've shared with us,
Sure.
Yeah, and I just wanted to take this time and really appreciate you for that, and just coming through to the podcast and bracing us and giving us, emptying yourself for us, basically, So it's a huge privilege and honor, and I truly appreciate that, my dog.
No, I'm humbled, and I am in a good place. Yeah, this is home. I appreciate that feeling. Like sometimes you go to people's houses, but you never feel at home. Like today, I truly feel at home. Yeah, like when you feel like you can go and open the fridge without even asking for permission,
Sure.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I'm here. I appreciate that the work you are doing is helping people. We can sometimes take our work for granted. People out there really need to hear these things. And like I said, Uguti, you are contributing towards the confidence of people, because once they hear the stories, they relate. Now they also understand, no man, it's not just me. So if somebody else can do it, I can do it. So do not take your work for granted, my man. I appreciate being your friend. okay, I know Guti Vele, like we are at work here, but also that we can be out of work
We are home.
and
We are
enjoy,
home.
yeah, and share some
Yeah.
jokes and things like that. Papa Ka Yona, it's it's a place for the misfits. You are always welcome. You don't necessarily, yes, we sell food. It would be nice for you to come and support, but it's not only about that. You are welcome to just come and find your place in Papa Ka Yona. We don't know what you are there to contribute, but we are hoping Uguti you can come and contribute positively. And should you need a platform, if we can make it work, we'll make it work, my man. We'll try. I mean, all our friends. We have friends like you, friends like Fitown. We have friends that can help in things that they deem worthwhile of their help. So if you are worthy, um, not necessarily from a pompous perspective, but if you are worthy of the help, the doors are open. You can come through. Let's do this thing. On the 24th of September, like my friend said, we are having um, a Heritage Day celebration based on dancing. Amapansola,
Yeah.
Namapotra. You are welcome to come. Participation is 20 Rand. All participants, there'll be catering for them. There
Sure.
are prizes and everything. Also here, there's the speaker box session is also on the 24th of
It's on the
September.
24th. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, let's have fun. Let's celebrate our heritage. Fitown is hosting, Papa Ka Yona is hosting, and we are not competition. We are family.
We are family.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
don't get it twisted or look at it in a very wrong way. Sometimes that's also one of our challenges. If you're doing something and I'm doing something, then we are automatically competition. No, it's not like that.
It's not the case.
I'm grateful to have Raymond, or they call him Uta Opa, as my friend. Yoguti, we can have conversations,
Sure.
yeah, that are very building. Like he's also one of the people that contributed like positively, like exponentially in my life, not and in my story. It's one of those people that you would take for granted because you'll judge him based on what you see,
Sure.
and also maybe you'll be intimidated by what you see, but only to find out Uguti, that's actually a human being with love, my man. So those are the opportunities that we must not deprive ourselves of. It's very important to also have a mentor, like try and get somebody who's moving in the direction you would love to see yourself moving in, and just open yourself up for advice, for life lessons and things. I mean, that person has already made the mistakes you are about to make, so why not avoid them? Yeah, something like that. So I will always emphasize on Uguti, try and get a mentor that is going to guide you. Nami, I'm extremely fortunate. That's why I'm saying Uguti, I was raised by a village, my man, of love. Like the family Mzimhlope, Abu Mavusana, Abu Ray. Like there's a lot of people that have contributed positively in my life, outside of my family, my biological family. Not that I'm taking anything away from them, but like I said, Uguti, those people served as mentors to me, and they've contributed positively in the solidarity and in my heart. What I know, Uguti, where my heart stands, and I'm now solid. Uguti, no, this is who I am. I will not be shaken. Where I understand, I know there are alternatives, but this is what I choose to be, and I'm at peace with that.
Yeah, that's a lot. Thank you so much, my dog. We truly appreciate it. And I think to all the authentics, I know we're still gonna take this in, and please do share with us your thoughts, share your takeaways. Send us some VN, some voice notes. I have enabled the voice note button on Spotify, so yay, we can start sharing voice notes there. Would really appreciate just hearing your thoughts. To our international listeners, we truly appreciate. I know you guys are going to dabble in between the languages, I'll try to make a plan to transcribe, but if I didn't, just listen with your heart instead with your ear, because the message is still the same. It's universal. So in order for you to really understand and feel this message by our guest Ryan, do listen with your heart. And yeah, like he said, on the 24th we have the speaker box coming. Looking forward to that. And a huge shout outs to Fitown. Like I always say, man, they allow us to make this our own, and as we take it out there to the people, we also invite you guys to come and make it your own, because it's all ours. It's not the People's Journal event, it's not Fitown's event, but it's our event. You guys are allowed, you guys should come free, and shout outs to the artists that always pull through. But yeah, it's been a lot. I think I'm still going to take this on, open up my channel, and then write down the takeaways that I've gotten. But yeah, show some love on our social media. It's at the People's Journal Podcast on Facebook, TPJ_pod on Instagram, and do check out our partners at Fitown on Facebook and all their TikTok or social medias. Show some love, support. And as for me, your host to Park Menu, Mr. 925 in Tambo Mtlakasi, I'll catch you on the other side.